Dragon Ball Z has had such a huge impact on the anime community that it is pretty much in that untouchable category. I mean, for a lot of us, it was our first anime that we ever watched, so much so that it's hard to believe that Dragon Ball Z first aired in 1989. I know. Crazy, right? Well, now the year is 2025, and we want to find that next staple anime that's just super easy to get into and that we all can just ride behind, right? So what is it? I don't know. We're going to talk about it in this video. Let us know if you agree with some of the takes that me and my Twitch chat came up with. Speaking of my Twitch, if you want to join me on the live streams, I am live on Twitch 4 to 5 days a week at I'm Tracy Allen. The link will be in the description. I'll probably put like a picture somewhere on this screen as well. And don't forget to drop a like on this video. That lets me know that you enjoy this type of content. Comment as well. Let me know what you think and enjoy the rest of this video. Thank you for watching. What is this generation's Dragon Ball Z? That's a loaded question, right? What is this generation's Dragon Ball Z? In order to answer that question, we have to think about what Dragon Ball Z did, right? Before we, I already see somebody saying solo leveling. I already see it, But think about what Dragon Ball Z actually did. Dragon Ball Z broke the barriers of weeb and normal society. I'm just going to say normal society because I don't have a better way to describe it. You know what I'm saying? Like us being anime fans and then the rest of society. You know what I'm saying? Dragon Ball Z kind of broke that barrier. You got athletes, musicians, and stuff that are into Dragon Ball Z back then, but not necessarily into other anime, or maybe watching Dragon Ball Z and then taking the time to get into other anime because of what Dragon Ball Z did for them. You know what I'm saying? Lamar! Uchiha, that's a new gifter, baby! But Dragon Ball Z really paved the way for a lot of people that didn't necessarily like anime or thought anime was weird. Everybody was into Dragon Ball Z, especially all the little dudes, bro. Like, I know I was in Dragon Ball Z, and Dragon Ball Z got a lot of us into anime today. Dragon Ball Z has broken the internet multiple times, and really was the first anime to break that barrier. You know what I'm saying? It made a generational impact is what I'm trying to say, So it's kind of a no-brainer to say that Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z, I'm going to say more so Dragon Ball Z, because I feel like Dragon Ball, yes, had a big impact, but Dragon Ball Z, when Z started coming out, that's when it went. And the funny thing about Dragon Ball Z is that Z came out in the 90s, but it got really big in the 2000s. You know what I'm saying?
Read this message.
Oh, okay. All right. Somebody said it's AOT, obviously. That's not a bad, candidate. That's something we can discuss, but Dragon Ball Z took off in the 2000s, right? And that's when a lot of us, started to learn about it and all of that. So what anime now is making that impact? Deadshot! Okay, somebody said Demon Slayer is that anime. Okay, so when did Demon Slayer come out? Let's make sure that we're fact checking everybody. And let's talk about Demon Slayer right now. People are saying Demon Slayer is this generation's Dragon Ball Z. Deadshot, you coming in here with 2 back-to-back 5s, keeping me alive, making the HSV thrive. You that guy, you know what I'm saying? I appreciate you. 2019 is when the anime for Demon Slayer came out. 2016 is when the manga came out. Okay. So, do y'all think Demon Slayer is this generation's Dragon Ball Z? That's the question. Let's make a poll for that. Let's talk about what Demon Slayer has accomplished, okay? Demon Slayer has currently the most successful animated film ever. It does. It's what it is in theaters. Deadshot with another 5 gifted. Come on, baby. Demon Slayer does have the highest grossing film ever, and that's with what's it called? Mugen Train. So I would say Demon Slayer is actually not a bad argument for this generation's Dragon Ball Z. I mean, considering that it was the number 2 highest grossing film in 2020, which is crazy. And y'all can fact check me on that too. I might be misquoting this, but I'm pretty sure it was the second highest grossing film in 2020. And not just animated film, just film in general, which is crazy. So we got to give Demon Slayer his flowers for that, right? Do I think... Hey. Broly! Broly with the 10 gifted, baby. Let's go, brother. But can we all agree, though, that Demon Slayer... Well, it's not a matter of agreeing. It is a fact that Mugen Train broke records for anime culture, you know? And Demon Slayer, I would say, has the best animation we have seen in a long time. The fight choreography is beautiful. The characters are compelling. I personally like the story. It is more on the simple side. It's not complex. It's easy to digest, easy to understand. And one of the qualities about Dragon Ball Z is that it's easy for anybody to get into. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's what a lot of people loved about Dragon Ball Z, is that it didn't take much thought to get into it. You see some cool stuff, you like some cool stuff, you like the characters, these fights are dope, the animation is dope, boom, I love it. Demon Slayer does have those same qualities. It does have those same qualities. I'm not saying Demon Slayer is the next Dragon Ball Z. I'm not saying that. But it does share those similar qualities that Dragon Ball Z set. And there are a lot of people that got into anime because of Demon Slayer, because of how cinematic the movie was and the show was, especially just their season 1. That scene where Tanjiro is fighting what is it? Lower Moon 11 or Upper Moon 11, something like that. Low 5? I don't remember. Was it Moon 11? Was it Low 5? Rui. We'll just say Rui. Okay? When he was fighting Rui, that clip of him using Hinokami Kagura for the first time went viral, right? And a lot of people got into it. So we can say that there's similar qualities. I wouldn't say that Demon Slayer is this generation's Dragon Ball Z, but I would say it's a close candidate. I would say that. I would definitely say that it is a close candidate, and I think that that's something that we cannot deny. You know what I'm saying? That's something we cannot deny. Somebody made a good argument for Attack on Titan. Let's go. Boy, y'all going crazy today. Attack on Titan came out, the anime started in 2013. And I would argue that when Attack on Titan first came out, it wasn't that popular. Is that a fair argument to make? I'm talking about strictly 2013. Strictly 2013. I don't think Attack on Titan was that popular when it initially launched. I think that it took some years for people to go back and watch it and be like, wait a minute. Wait, this is really good. You know? Because for the longest time, Attack on Titan didn't get a season 2. Am I correct? Let's fact check that real quick. Attack on Titan season 2 didn't release until April 2017. When did season 1 come out? Season 1 came out September 2013. That is a 4-year gap. Now, I don't know how the Japanese work. I don't know if they just continue to release anime based off popularity or not, but I can make a safe assumption, this is just an assumption, that most animes, if they don't have a successful enough season 1, they won't get renewed for a season 2. Even if the manga is finished, chitty chitty bang bang, doesn't matter, it won't get renewed, you know, because money matters. And the only way that these companies make money is if they have viewership, correct? So Attack on Titan didn't get a lot of viewership in 2013, 14, 15. I would say somewhere in 2016, maybe end of 2015, Attack on Titan started to get, you know, some viewership. And I know that, or at least I can say that because I started watching Attack on Titan 2016. That's when I watched it. And that was when I graduated high school. That was 3 years after the initial launch of Attack on Titan. And I was like, hold up. This is good. This is really, really freaking good. You know? And I think everybody else kind of was on that as well. Was like, oh, this is really good. Then they got season 2. And then they got season 3. And then we had to wait forever for season 4. You know what I'm saying? Now, here's the good thing about Attack on Titan, though. When it got When it hit peak, it peaked. Attack on Titan was like the #1 TV show in America for a while. For a while. I don't know if y'all remember, but it was a trending topic, especially if you're on like Anime Talk, Anime Instagram, whatever. Attack on Titan won like an award for best TV show of like 2021, 2022, something like that. And that's not just talking anime, that's just TV shows in general. I don't think we're including One Piece or Naruto. We can't, okay. The animes that we cannot include right now in this discussion is animes that were released in like the early 2000s. So no One Piece, no Naruto, no Bleach, unfortunately. A lot of people that don't like anime watched Attack on Titan. That's a similar trait to Dragon Ball Z. It's a very, very similar trait to Dragon Ball Z because not a lot of people that watched anime, or people that didn't watch anime were watching Dragon Ball Z. People that didn't watch anime were watching Attack on Titan. Attack on Titan did so many things. Attack on Titan also crashed Crunchyroll a few times. You know what I'm saying? And I would even argue that Attack on Titan did, in fact, break the internet because they won awards for best TV shows in America. I can only speak about the American experience, obviously because I'm American, so I can't really speak about the Japanese experience, you know? But Attack on Titan went really, really, really freaking far. And I would even go as far to say is, for a lot of people, Attack on Titan did bridge the gap, you know? Attack on Titan bridged the gap for a lot of people. And to me, Attack on Titan is in this category of untouchable animes. You know what I'm saying? Like there's a few animes that you cannot touch that I think Dragon Ball Z is factually one of them. In my opinion, it's not. I love Dragon Ball Z. I think Dragon Ball Z is goated, you know? Don't get me wrong. But I think factually wise, you can't really touch Dragon Ball Z. You know what I'm saying? Now, opinion-wise, for me, Attack on Titan is one of those animes that you cannot touch. Like I said, #1 TV show of all time. Crashed internet, crashed Crunchyroll's website a few times. And maintained its relevancy through really long breaks. You know? With that being said, though, I think that because of the length of Attack on Titan, and because Attack on Titan took so many breaks and took a very long time to get its foot through the door, anime-wise, I would say Attack on Titan is not this generation's DBZ. Somebody said Black Clover got my vote. I love Black Clover. I think we're gonna say no to Black Clover though. I think I would have to give Black Clover a quick no. Black Clover's on a really, really long hiatus right now. And there's a lot of people that dropped Black Clover because they thought Asta was annoying. I love Asta. I think Black Clover is dope. Black Clover didn't accomplish any crazy feats. And I think that's just a fact, right? We can discuss Black Clover real quick. I don't think we need to put a poll up for Black Clover though. But there's nothing groundbreaking that Black Clover has accomplished, right? I think we can all agree on that. You know, there's no like award, record, or anything that Black Clover has specifically broken. Black Clover's dope. I love Black Clover. It hasn't broken any records though. You know what I'm saying? So it would be very, very far-fetched to say Black Clover is the next Dragon Ball Z. I don't think we can say that. Dragon Ball Z is great in its own right. Becoming a generational show is not something to be ignored, but AOT has a much better story than Dragon Ball Z, in my opinion. Exactly. So I think you just hit it on the nose right there, Truth. What we're looking for is what is this generation's next Dragon Ball Z, not what is this generation's greatest anime story or anime film. That's not what we're looking for. You know what I mean? What's up, Akatsuki Glitch, by the way? What we're looking for is what is the gap? What is the anime that's bridging the gap for this generation? Or what is the anime that's having the biggest impact? Because the thing is, right, Dragon Ball Z's already, I guess, done the job of bridging the gap between anime watcher and non-anime watcher. They've already bridged it, you know? And I would say this is just, I don't think this is an opinion. I think this is a fact too. Pandemic-wise, Naruto and Dragon Ball Z, the two biggest animes that bridge the gap between non-watcher and watcher of anime. Can we agree on that? Can we agree that Naruto and Dragon Ball Z, the two most impactful animes for bridging the gap between non-anime watcher and anime watcher? And that's me. I love One Piece. Y'all know I do. One Piece is up there. One Piece is my number one, tied with Naruto. Those are my two favorite animes of all time. But Naruto and Dragon Ball Z, they both did it. You know what I'm saying? Dragon Ball Z did it for a certain generation, and then Naruto, I think Naruto did it right after Dragon Ball Z. You know what I'm saying? So I would say, oh shoot, I think we just cracked it. Wait a minute, I think we just cracked the case actually. Okay. I think we just cracked the case. Right? Okay. Yeah, we did. Cause it goes, well, we can't talk Naruto because Naruto came out in the 2000s. But Naruto was really trending in 2020. At the height of the pandemic, and so many people watched Naruto, bro. So many people went and watched Naruto and then just started their anime journey. So I would say it probably went Dragon Ball Z, Naruto, what's after that? That's what we're trying to find. Because Naruto did his thing. I'm just saying Naruto came out in the early 2000s, though. So that's the only reason we're not discussing Naruto. But Naruto and Dragon Ball Z, two most impactful animes to bridge the gap between anime watcher and non-anime watcher. I don't think Bleach is in that discussion. Bleach is goated up there with Naruto for sure, but Naruto had a much bigger impact on the non-watcher, on the non-anime watcher than Bleach did. And that's not discrediting Bleach. That's just saying that Naruto had a bigger impact on people that were not fans of anime than Bleach did. You know what I'm saying? Let's discuss solo leveling. Let's go ahead. We already got Black Clover out the way, right? We already got Black Clover out the way. I will check the DM, Cook. I got you. We already got Black Clover out the way because Black Clover didn't accomplish anything crazy. Let's go on to solo leveling. Okay? Let's go to... Hey. Hey. Ham and cheese. Is solo leveling this generation's Dragon Ball Z? I think that Kage hit it on the nose. I think Kage hit it on the nose. Solo leveling is doing amazing things right now. Solo leveling did break a record on Crunchyroll for having the most positive reviews on Crunchyroll. So it did break that record. So solo leveling's on a good path right now. Solo leveling is on a really good path. But Kage, HSV Kage hit it on the nose, dog. It hasn't been able to establish itself fully yet. And I think that's just the truth. I think we have to put all the solo leveling fans out here, we have to put the bias to the side and how much we love solo leveling and say, not yet. Not yet. We just finished season 2 like less than a month ago, I think. Or maybe a month ago. I don't think it's done it just yet. Not yet. Is it possible for solo leveling to do it? Yes. Here's why. Because again, we're looking for the next generation's Dragon Ball Z. We're not looking for the best story. You know what I'm saying? We're looking for fun characters, fun fights, something that's easy to get into, that a non-watcher and a watcher of anime can enjoy. Solo leveling is doing that. You know? It's undeniable. I think solo leveling is doing the same thing as Demon Slayer. I think, personally, we have 3 candidates. We have 3 top candidates for the next generation's Dragon Ball Z. And I'll tell you who they are. We've already went over 2 of them. Demon Slayer is one of the 3 that I think are at the height of the discussion. Solo leveling is also one of the 3 that I think is at the height of the discussion. Mega Man said, I don't think solo leveling is bridging gaps between anime and non-watchers. A lot of solo leveling fans are hardcore fans of the manhwa. And that's also true. That's why I think it's not solo leveling. I think that solo leveling is doing a great job. But I don't know. I think non-watchers can get into solo leveling too, though. I think non-watchers can get into solo leveling too. Solo leveling, it just hasn't had enough time to fully develop yet. You know, maybe season 3, season 4, we can have this discussion again. But I would say no to solo leveling right now. I would say no to it right now. And 75% of y'all agree with that. So let's go with the next one. Is JJK this generation's Dragon Ball Z? Between the four, and JJK is not my favorite of the four. I would say it's probably JJK. I would say it's probably JJK because we really have to think about it, right? JJK is breaking records, crashing websites, winning Crunchyroll Anime Awards over and over. So much so that last year's Anime Awards was called the JJK Awards. That's how big JJK got. JJK is easy to get into. The storyline is not complex. The power system is hella complex. That is the most negative side to JJK, is how complex the power system is. So complex that people think even the writer is confused by their own writing. You know what I'm saying? The power system is mad confusing. But JJK, in a sense, if you don't care about getting into the lore of the power system, you can really kind of turn your brain off and just watch it and enjoy some cool stuff. JJK, 9 times out of 10, every episode, something dope is happening. 9 times out of 10. It really pulls people into it. It does. And so I think that our winner for the next generation's Dragon Ball Z would have to be JJK, man.